So I've been reading the 880-page stimulus bill for the past couple of weeks while stuck in quarantine, and then I found a $10,000 grant for small businesses, which really takes the edge off of being stuck in quarantine in a condo with my girlfriend for the past 2 weeks.
Let's get that grant.
All right, but which companies really are eligible for this $10,000 grant? Well, it's actually looking about just about any small business, because it says right here that any individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without, keyword without employees, or as an independent contractor. Companies that small with no employees, even as an independent contractor, which can include like people like Uber drivers, can actually be eligible for this grant, which is amazing. And one other thing that's actually really important, but I didn't see in the stimulus bill, is hitting that like button, because it really helps small businesses in these crazy times, and it's greatly appreciated. So let's say you have a small business that fits these very basic guidelines. How are you actually going to fill out this form to get to $10,000? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to sba.gov, and then you're going to see this page come up, and it's going to be this scary virus, and above it is going to be this very nice yellow banner that says apply for economic injury disaster loan, which is also the disaster grant. So you just click here, it goes here, and it has all this streamlined process of requirements, because I actually filled this out before they put this little splash page up, and man, this took forever to do. I spent like 5 hours on this over the weekend. Then they made this. And it says it takes 2 hours and 10 minutes to fill this out. No, this takes more like 10 minutes to fill out. So good on whoever did that. That actually made things so much easier. So let's go over how we're going to fill this out. So most of you, you're going to be one of the first two. You're going to have someone with employees under 500 employees, which sounds more like a medium to large size business than a small, and then or you're an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees, or as an independent contractor. So one of these two, most likely. The rest are more specific types of organizations. And then this is basically a checklist of you doing a bunch of bad things. Have you done these terrible things, like being a lobbyist or a congressman? Say no, and then you click continue. And then it comes to this part, and you'll notice that the red ones are the ones that are required to be filled out, and the rest aren't. And you've filled that out, bam, put in some more fake stuff for you. A couple things you might want to notice is CEO, if you have it, or you can just be the owner if you're a sole proprietor, however you want to identify yourself in a professional setting. Ownership percentage, if it's not 100%, then you're going to have to go to the bottom and add the additional owner here. I'm not going to click that because it creates a mess. And you just fill out the same stuff as before. You put in your social security number and everything there. The one part that might confuse you guys is here at the very top. You might not have even seen it. I actually didn't see it the first time I did it. Is your business owned by a business entity? Now, a lot of you might not understand what that is, but basically it's when you have a business and then you can have like a sub-business. Like I'll have a holding company, and then I'll have an LLC under it that goes and buys and owns a specific property. And that way I'm buying the property as a company, not as an individual. If you don't really know what I just said, then you are probably going to click no. And if you do know what I just said, well, then you know how to click which one that would be, because you probably designed the whole thing like that anyway. So once you fill that out, you click next. And then you go through the same kind of idea of like, have you been doing this? Have you been doing naughty things? And then I have not been. So you click that no. Now, if you've had people help you with this for some reason, you'd fill this out. Don't put me. Just because I'm helping you right now, some of you might put my name on here because like you're following my video. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't help you. I'm just some guy on the internet. And then you would like to be considered for the $10,000 advance. I don't know why that's a button. And then you just add your bank name, account number, and routing number of your business entity. I did not put in a personal account. I feel like that would be weird. But if you have, if you only have a personal account, then maybe that's what you have to do. Otherwise, add it to your business version. And then you certify, and you would click next. And then from there, you will get an account number, and you want to hold on to that and make sure you're good to go on that. And that's it. You've applied for your $10,000 grant and maybe even get a loan. Now, there is a chance that they end up auditing you for these things, and you need to make sure that you are using this grant for the pre-approved items. You can't just go out and try to buy a bunch of Ferraris with it. The main intention for this is to pay for sick leave of employees, and maybe that involves you if you're your own contractor, your own business. It isn't completely clear. It's really the idea to maintain and retain those employees. So you can't just get this and then fire them. It can be used on meeting the increased costs of obtaining materials unavailable from the applicant's original source due to interrupted supply chains, making rent or mortgage payments, repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue losses. So it even can be losses from revenue you'd normally make, which is interesting because, again, they are not requiring you to verify your tax returns. And if you end up getting the loan, just know that if it comes from an actual lender, which they are supposed to be going to normal commercial banks, like you can just go to like Bank of America and get the loan part, it should make it to where the lenders provide payment deferments when appropriate and to extend the maturity of covered loans so long as to avoid a balloon payment. They're really trying to make it to where there's not going to be some giant payment that you got to make at the end of this thing. All right, so that is the main stuff with this bill. There's a few questions in here that I'm not 100% sure on. Maybe you guys know or can comment on it. It's the part that says it can go to pay your lease payments and your mortgages, but what if you have a home office? How much of that can go towards the mortgage? All of it? None of it? I don't know. Also, if you really thought this was useful, it was helpful to you in these crazy times, again, a like is really helpful to me and my own small business. And I hope you guys get through everything. I know it's crazy times. I hope you guys have all the supplies you need, all the TP, everything. And I hope you guys don't get it. And if we're one of the ones that do, I hope it's not so bad. So, all right, guys, hang in there. Bye.